Dina and her husband came home and they were attacked and robbed and beaten. They were blindfolded and zip tied. Now, Tommy Manzo was eventually linked to this crime. He orchestrated it and used the brownstone as payment to the Goonies that he hired to orchestrate the home invasion against his ex-wife Dina and her new husband David. Now, the reason that they were able to plan this so perfectly, considering that David and Dina lived in California, was because of the fact that they were in New Jersey filming for the Real Housewives of New Jersey for Teresa's daughter's religious milestone. Adriana, the daughter of Teresa, who is Dina's goddaughter, okay? So that is why, allegedly, Dolores was not in attendance nor invited to the engagement party, because one of the stipulations that Dina gave Teresa, being in part of her wedding party, was that none of the Manzos and no one affiliated with the Manzos would be at any of the activities or have any knowledge of the itinerary, the schedule, the days, the times, the locations of any of the wedding events. Obviously, for the safety of her and her husband. Now, here's where the juicy part comes in as well, guys. Tommy has not been convicted. He has been charged and indicted by the federal government, okay? Now, you can be given a bond stipulation, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the judge has to grant you a bond, even if you have the money. So in Tommy's case, because he had a good attorney, they went to court with 14 character letters that basically witness and are statements from people in the community that state that Tommy Manzo is a member of society, that he donates to this organization, that he does A, B, C, and D, and these are all of the reasons why the judge should allow him to post bond and continue his trial from his home versus in the county jail going to trial every day. This is why Tommy has been able to continue to postpone the trial because he posted bond back in 2020 and he still has not had a trial concerning this indictment. Of course, everything I say in this video is alleged, of course. So this is why Dolores was not invited to the engagement party, because Dolores still hangs tight with Caroline Manzo. And she's also friends with Kathy Walkeely, who we all know to be Teresa Giudice's cousin, whom she was very, very close with before the show, until Kathy went on the show allegedly behind her back. If you're ever bored and you want to read someone's obnoxious Twitter account, then you should definitely catch Kathy's Walkeely's husband, Rich Walkeely, on Twitter, because he is probably one of the most obnoxious Twitterers you would ever come across. So if you're bored and you want a good read, check out his Twitter account. Now, I know a lot of you guys aren't on the internet, and that's fine. I'm here to give you guys all of the facts, the tea, and the gossip. That's what I'm here for. So we are finally down to what we think is going on in New Jersey right now, and that is the fact that we've had 3 different sites and an insider come forward and say that Dina and Teresa have had a falling out. Now, what I have to get back to, guys, is the fact that Caroline and Dina have not been speaking for years and years, and Caroline blamed Teresa. She blamed her even when Teresa was on the show. She alleged that Teresa went back and forth between Dina and Caroline and caused a lot of friction and repeated things wrong and planted seeds, and, just basically blames Teresa for not being a peacemaker but more of a troublemaker. Now, whenever the character letters were made and presented in court in favor of Tommy Manzo, there were 2 ladies that your names they're going to recognize from the Real Housewives of New Jersey who put statements, signed their names to the federal government and said and basically vouched for Tommy Manzo, knowing damn well that he orchestrated this home invasion against Tina and her husband, still wrote letters in favor of Tommy, and basically, just praising him so that the judge would coast his bond. Those two names are Caroline Manzo and Dolores Catania. Both of those women wrote letters in favor of Tommy Manzo and him posting bond to fight his trial from the comfort of his home versus the county jail where he probably belongs. That is what has caused the friction between Dina and Caroline thus far. Now, to not help the situation at all, Caroline's son also has a podcast. Now, we don't really know much about his podcast. It doesn't sound like he gets a lot of attention for it unless there's something's going on with Caroline. We saw Caroline go on his podcast when she said that she wanted to go after Teresa on Bravo and she has bombs and she's a high price tag and Bravo just doesn't want to pay for her to come on the show. And, just all of this bull that of course made headlines all over the place. It made the press. It was a really big deal. But before that, after Caroline wrote the letter in favor of Tommy Manzo, she went on her son's podcast and basically, he defended her, she defended herself, and she said she's about the truth and, she loves her sister dearly, and she basically, that's pretty much all she says. Dolores doesn't say a word because you know what, guys? We just found out that Dolores wrote a character letter. We just found this out like 2 months ago. This whole time we didn't know that Dolores wrote a letter in favor of Tommy Manzo too. And this was a big deal, guys, because of the fact that one, Teresa never brought it up on the show, okay? That is the reason that Dolores wasn't invited to the engagement party, because she had such strong ties with the Manzos, with Caroline Manzo. And the fact that Dina would have been at the engagement party, and she was present, obviously, because she is part of the wedding party and the matron of honor. She would have been there, and at her request, per Teresa, per Dina Manzo, she didn't want anyone affiliated with the Manzos that would be able to even accidentally say something that could give away their, where they're staying, what time they're going to be somewhere, anything like that. Because, guys, really, we're dealing with a powerful mobster family. Like, these people have ties. David was beat up 2 years before the home invasion, and they just couldn't link it to Tommy. But after the home invasion, it seems they were able to do that. He has a lot of ties in the community. He had a governor write a letter in favor of him, a character letter, and Pete Christie. You guys would probably remember him as the governor in New Jersey who closed the beaches down for Memorial Day during COVID, yet thought it would be a great idea for him and his wife and their 3 children to go to the beach and basically have a private outing on Memorial Day weekend after he closed it to the public because of COVID. That's him. Yeah. Do you guys remember him? Yeah, he wrote a letter in favor of Tommy Manzo. I mean, that sounds about right, right? Just saying. Anyways, guys, so this is a big deal if Dina and Teresa have had a falling out. Now, allegedly, again, the falling out originally took place between David and Louis, okay? But whatever the situation is, Dina is so passionate about it, the fact that she's taking David's side. The women are not getting along. They're not speaking. Dina is not going to be in the wedding. She might not even attend the wedding, which, again, guys, there could have been a lot of conflict, like the situation with everyone asking Teresa about, is it going to be filmed? Is the wedding going to be filmed? Are we going to see a special? Are we going to, series? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, she had to have dealt with the fact that Dina was a bridesmaid and who probably didn't want to be on Bravo for free, considering she used to be a housewife. So one, they were either going to have to edit her out completely, or pay her. And two, maybe she didn't want to be on the show at all. Maybe her new husband didn't want to be on the show because, guys, we talk about this. If you're doing anything you shouldn't be doing, reality TV is not for you, okay? If you're money laundering, if you're ripping off old people, if you're running a security business and you won't let old people out of their subscriptions, if you're running a phone fraud business, I mean, it's endless, guys. If you're doing something illegal, even Tom Girardi said this, his own wife didn't take his own advice. Don't go on reality TV. So maybe David and Dina don't want to be on reality TV anymore, which would definitely cause a problem again with Bravo. If Dina was the matron of honor, it's going to cause a problem with production, with filming, and for Teresa, because